should have started it with that. Sorry about that. Of mouse. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here on channel GBoot2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. 20th Century Fox, the storied film production company in Hollywood for over 85 years. Of course, many people may or may not know that Walt Disney actually acquired 20th Century Fox in 2019. Well, on this past week, over the weekend, it was announced by Walt Disney that they are rebranding 20th Century Fox, and 20th Century Fox will no longer carry the moniker of 20th Century Fox. It will be now 20th Century Television, and this includes the television aspect of it as well, like 20th Century Fox Television will now be called 20th Century, and there will be no more 20th Century 20th Century Fox Film Studios anymore. And this is coming from the BBC. It was reported, and also on CNN, that Disney just rebranded ended the 20th Century Fox name. And of course, 20th Century Fox goes back from 1935. It was founded and created by David Zanuck. I'm looking up Daryl Zanuck, excuse me. William Fox and Joseph Schneck. Now, what's interesting is when I think of Daryl Zanuck, I believe he has a son, Richard Zanuck, who was a legendary film producer. He actually produced Jaws for Steven Spielberg, as well as Driving Miss Daisy, and he helped launch the careers of Steven Spielberg and Tim Burton when they were just getting started. But that's very interesting that 20th Century Fox is closing down its production company. Of course, it's been sold out. But Walt Disney, practically for all intents and purposes, has a monopoly on the entertainment industry. If you think about it, Walt Disney owns Star Wars. That was also produced by 20th Century Fox. They own the rights to the Marvel Comics. So that means Thor, Spider-Man, you can name it, The Punisher, the Darker Comics, Luke Cage. That's actually why those Netflix series got canceled so quickly, even though they were popular, because Walt Disney had acquired the rights to Marvel Comics a couple of years ago. So despite the show being popular, because there was an issue with Disney, and Disney's trying to set up their streaming service at that time, the Disney Plus, they ended all cooperation with Netflix, and Netflix canceled their series. Although I enjoyed the Punisher series, I thought that was pretty tight. I enjoyed Luke Cage. Thought that was pretty tight as well. But it's unfortunate, but that happens. That happens, unfortunately. And everything, it's about business. It's about money at the end of the day, and that's what it boils down to. And keep in mind, these men who built 20th Century Fox, Paramount Pictures, Warner Brothers, you think of that, Universal Pictures, all of that, and this is not a hate, but all of that was created by Jewish immigrants. I told you about Samuel Goldwyn, whose grandson is Tony Goldwyn, the actor on the show Scandal, as well as the film Ghost. He co-created Paramount Pictures and MGM, Louis B. Mayer, those guys. So when they say that Jews run Hollywood, I mean stereotypes. It's not a stereotype about it, but it's true. Those people did create that. And that's not bad. I actually admire it. You got, when you come as a group and you think as a group, and you put your monies together, it can be very lucrative and great things can happen. But Walt Disney owning the rights to all of those those different films, owning the rights to Star Wars. If you go on Disney Plus right now, You're gonna find The Simpsons on Disney Plus. You're gonna find Star Wars on Disney Plus. You're gonna find Marvel Comics on Disney Plus. You're gonna find the whole 20th Century Fox library practically on Disney Plus. Although some films I don't think they have released on 20th Century under the Disney brand from 20th Century Fox, they've put on there. But this is certainly the end of the era, and you think about it too. Think of the X-Men movies that came out under 20th Century Fox. You had one of the best comic book movies ever came out 3 years ago, Logan. Which was Hugh Jackman's last appearance as Wolverine. In my opinion, of course they're going to reboot the series eventually one year. It may not be recently because the last X-Men movie that they had, which was the Dark Phoenix, that one flopped at the box office. So it may be a while before you see another X-Men movie. Maybe they may. I don't think they can do too many. There's only so many prequels that they can do. Eventually, before it's gotten to be ridiculous. Well, it already has been ridiculous, but nobody could top what Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart did in Logan. I mean, that was just probably the best comic book movie I've ever seen. Just as far as the storyline behind it and the acting, and I think the message of mortality that was in that. And 20th Century Fox, that certainly has some of the greatest they produced some of the greatest pictures of all time. There was certainly this is certainly the end of an era I think a lot of people are looking at. And there's a reason why I'm not a fan of monopolies, because there's no competition now for any of these film companies, for anybody in media. You got to go to one big person who owns 8 different entities. I mean, earlier today I saw the guy who created Viacom CBS. And of course that came up because Nick Cannon, that incident with Nick Cannon that happened earlier this year. Remember, he got fired, and he's actually suing Viacom CBS. I saw that earlier, but I'll talk about that in another video. But I just saw what was interesting is that the Sumner Redstone just died today, and he was the one who created Viacom CBS. So a lot of those companies, remember, Viacom CBS owns multiple television networks: Paramount Pictures and Paramount Network, VH1, MTV, BET, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, I believe CMT, Pluto TV. They own all of that. So it's certainly interesting where we see where Hollywood is right now. And of course everything now is just going online. They got to make things online anyway, because most people are watching things from home now. We're not in the movie theaters. But you guys tell me what you think about the closing of, or the shutting down of the 20th Century name. Oh, and before I go, I should have started this off like this, but we'll end it on this note. Please donate to the Cash App, GavinRichardEsq, and I will have, as well as Google Pay at gavin.grich1@gmail.com. And I'll close it off like with this, guys. I should have started it with that. Sorry about that.